So Misen V is two words combined, mischievous and versatile. So it's fun and
Ooh.
functionality. That's like what I want in my brand. I don't want to be too crazy, but I definitely want to have some fun. Like when people look at my products, I want them to say, "Oh, it's so fun, it's so versatile." But I do get a lot of comments like that when I'm in a pop-up market. Like people loves it and say like, "Oh, I never seen these before," like my accessories.
Hi, and welcome to Handbag Designer 101, the podcast with your host, Emily Blumenthal, handbag industry expert and the handbag fairy godmother. Each week, we uncover the stories behind the handbags we love, from the iconic brands and top designers to the creativity, craftsmanship, and culture that define the handbag world. Whether you're a designer, collector, or simply passionate about handbags, this is your front row seat to it all. Welcome, Shinyang Park of Misen V to Handbag Designer 101, the podcast. Welcome, welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much for
Hi.
inviting me.
Oh my God.
Hi.
This is part of what makes this podcast so special. Selfishly, is that I get to talk to people like you,
Mhm.
because without people like you, there's no newness, there's no innovation, this is what customers are looking for. And I think people tend to forget that this is where the innovation comes from.
Totally agree.
So how did you fall into your brand and how did it all get started?
So I graduated fashion in Korea and I worked as a clothing designer in LA. So my major is clothing design. I always love like innovating new designs. It has been my dream. I started with a bag because of course I love bags, but also if I'm starting, small from the beginning, it'll be easier to have like less variety. But yeah, I'm trying to make my own clothing line in the future as well. But yes.
How did you end up from Korea to LA? I mean, that much. And did your parents approve of you studying fashion design? I know that's a hard sell to anybody, but any of my Korean friends, it was like they had to put on a presentation for approval.
I mean, my parents were okay with anything that what I like, they would be okay. So yeah, they were totally fine with it. I had no problem going into fashion. It's just so much fun for me. I had the opportunity to have an internship in LA when I was working in Korea after graduating on my university. Yeah,
Was
after
that a big deal? That must have been a big deal to pack up and go to. Were you like, okay, that's it, I'm moving to the US, I'm done, or
I
I'm
I
going to just
used
stop by?
I used to live in America, Minnesota for 5 years when I was young. My dad was doing his PhD, so I always wanted to come back. I think my soul is in America.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Look what they did to you.
My parents, all my families live in Korea still. I came here to intern and then I met my husband. So I just
That was it.
staying here, yes,
That was it.
forever.
What was your internship with? Was it a handbag or apparel
It was
brand?
a jeans company. They have a huge wholesale market in LA.
For
Now it's
denim.
little,
Yeah.
yes, denim. And then I have been like moving through different companies, like clothing companies, jeans, and then like jersey. And I ended up quitting my job when I was pregnant. And
Yep.
that's when I thought this is the time I should make my own brand because it always had been in my mind when I was in college, like when I was in university studying fashion. I always wanted to make my own brand because I love design. I love creating new stuff. I love to have fun with like materials and yeah. Like when I had my kids, that was the most hard time. Like I had to like devote so much time in it. But then
Mm-hmm.
like I have to like make my own brand. Like this is the right time, but it was not. But it went all good. It went hard, but
Isn't
then
that crazy?
it,
Like when
it
you
is.
think back and you said, okay, if I'm ever going to start a brand, it's got to be handbags, or did you start with apparel?
I start with handbag.
So how are you like, okay, I've worked in apparel, I've worked in denim. Why don't I start a handbag line? Something I've never done before. How did that come to be?
It is really crazy because I knew an owner who makes bags, the factory owner. So that factory also makes 𝐃𝐞𝐬𝐲 handbags too. And I thought it would be easier for me to start with a handbag because I know someone in the factory. It's easier. It's way easier because it's so hard to like just start everything from the bottom. Like, yeah.
It's funny, we actually, a few episodes ago, we had Claire V on the podcast,
Oh,
Claire Vivier,
wow.
and she spoke about this infamous factory and said that
Oh, I wonder if that's the.
without this factory, she never would have been able to start her brand, start a
Oh,
business because they were
wow.
so integral in working with her from like, let's do one bag, let's do this, let's try this
Oh.
out. And they were able to work with her on such small quantities that she was
Oh,
able
I
to
wonder if
grow
that's
her brand from
a
that.
factory. It's a factory in LA.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I suggest everybody go back and listen to that episode just because it's so inspiring as to what could
I
be done
should
because
too. Yes.
she also started it when she was having her kid. Exact same story. It's nuts though when you think like, okay, I don't have a day job. I just pushed this child out. Why don't I start a business while taking care of a newborn baby? Because I don't have enough to do, you know?
I-
Like when you reflect on
I'm
that, don't you think
so
you're insane?
yeah, I'm so happy to hear like your view because like that's how I thought as well. Like I would have made my own brand no matter what, but it was just that timing that I had to do it. I felt like I had to do it.
It was almost as if that you were seeing so clearly that it was nuts in itself. Like, you know what? This is my time to start a business. This is
Totally, yes.
perfect. Yeah.
Yes.
How did you decide what the silhouette? How did you decide what materials? I mean, you're very fortunate, Shinyang, that you were able to say and at least have an understanding of patterns and picking out material and pieces and how things come together and understanding more or less how to work with the factory. Although working with domestic factories is very different than working from overseas and being
Yes.
able to stop by and say like, I don't like this, I don't like that, because
Right.
you also have to temper how much of a pain in the butt you are to the factory because you want to give your feedback, but you don't want to give too much feedback because then that's crossing the line and you don't know like,
Yes. Oh my
do I
gosh,
tell them
yes.
this or do I not tell them that? Or do I wait for the next meeting to share this information? It's really stressful.
It is so stressful. I one time remember getting so frustrated. I was so angry about like how it turned out. And then when I went to the factory, I was all smiling. Like I
Yeah.
wanted to like talk about it, but then like when I meet them, I just smiled at him. It's just so hard to really manage with the factory, but it was easier for me when I was manufacturing in LA. Right now, I'm trying to make samples in Korea and manufacture it there, and it's so much hard. Like it's harder because
Even with you being native speaker.
yes, because I cannot be there. That is a problem. As you said earlier, it's so difficult. But yeah, the benefit of speaking the same language with them in Korea, it's like much beneficial because I can't see other like people not speaking Korean trying to manufacture in Korea. There should be like a middle person to do it. Anyways,
How did you, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was trying to say like how I design my own product and stuff because that's what you were asking. So,
How were you able to figure out like, okay, I've just had a baby. I mean, at least in LA, you drive, but what was your like, aha, this bag is missing on the market. Now, if I'm going to start a business, it must be around this bag.
mhm. So, because I have been like, I know how to make a pattern with clothings. So it's much easier with bags too. Like I can make my own like pattern, like using a canvas and then sew it because I have a sewing machine as well. So I wanted to make a bag that will accompany with my clothing line in the future. So something simple, something simple. I just wanted to make something simple and casual because it's made in LA, like LA people, what they can wear every day. And I
Right.
also put a logo on the bottom, emboss the logo on the bottom to stand out my brand. And mostly the bag designs are simple, and like I try to be more creative with the accessories. If you I don't know if you have seen my website. I have like this
Yeah. Of course.
bunny charms that you can put your sunglasses on. So I'm more creative with the small accessories right now, but the bags are pretty simple.
Did you do, because the challenges I have found for designers who are trained in design is that they struggle with the research part of it, meaning like to do a competitive analysis of what brands are similar and what price points I should potentially sell and what retailers or boutiques would potentially sell. And I'm not saying specific to you, I'm just saying my experience working with people who are designers, as opposed to, I have this great idea for a handbag, and then they're forced to do all that extra work because they have no skill in developing a product. Did you put that work in of like, okay, here are the other brands that are similar to mine. Here's the price point I think my bag should be. Here's where it should be sold. Or was it like, okay, I'm going to make this first bag and then I'll just go from there?
So I did a little research, and I was aiming on that market that will be like 200 to 300 bag lines that aren't too expensive. So something
Retail.
right. So something not something more expensive than fast fashion, but less than,
Right.
higher ends that people can casually wear, but something that is well made, well designed. Because,
Right.
fast fashion is just like they just copy the trend and they make it fast and whatever, and it's cheaper because they do a mass production.
Right.
But I want it to be something higher than that, but lower than the high fashion.
How are you able to come up with this? Because obviously 200 to 300 at retail that is absolutely a sweet spot. But I think you learn pretty quick that without having orders against it, it's very difficult to get economies of scale, meaning to make your prices lower in order for you to charge less, because that's really tricky.
It is. So the reason I'm trying to manufacture in Korea now is because I find out the price range is not making much of profit because I was just starting when I made that price point, and I was making it in LA. So of course, with a small batch in LA, it is more expensive. So I don't want to price up my bags for at least what I have on my website. So that's why I'm trying to manufacture and maybe lower the cost a little bit.
So you essentially went into this with the strategic mindset of saying, let my margin be smaller because I know I'll, in theory, be able to sell more.
So no.
No.
I mean, I thought it wasn't enough margin when I was first selling because I was just starting, and I have worked as a designer, so I didn't have the business mind. But while the business grows, I have to put money in marketing and stuff, and I find out it's the margin itself is not working.
Yeah.
If you ever wanted to start a handbag line and didn't know where to start, this is for you.
Living proof that independent designers can make it big.
Emily Blumenthal is one prime example.
If you had dreams of becoming a handbag designer and didn't know where to start, this is for you. If you have a handbag brand and are in need of strategy and direction, this is for you. I'm Emily Blumenthal, handbag fairy godmother and handbag designer expert, and this is Handbag Designer 101, the masterclass. Over the next 10 classes, I will break down everything you need to know how to make, market, and manufacture a handbag. Broken down for you that you'll not only skip steps in that handbag building process, but also save money in that learning curve. For the past 20 years, I've been teaching at the top fashion universities in New York City, created the Handbag Awards, and also the Handbag Designer 101 podcast. I'm going to show you like I have countless brands from sketch to sample to shelf, whether you're just starting out and don't know where to begin, or even if you have a handbag line and just need some strategic direction, the Handbag Designer 101 Masterclass is just for you. So let's get started, and you will be the creator of the next IT bag. Join me, Emily Blumenthal, with the Handbag Designer 101 Masterclass.
It's a hard reality, and I think everybody struggles with it, even if you're, what people would consider established, that it's so much more than just the bag. It's like, it's the now what moment. Like, okay, I've gone through all this. I've killed myself. I've got the leathers. I've got the perfect leather. I've got the person to make the bag. Now I have a bag. I think I know that I'm charging more or less the correct thing for D2C. Maybe wholesale. Maybe I won't make enough out of wholesale, but I know I need boutiques to carry because that's marketing. Oh, damn, now what? Like, oh, God. Like, do I spend money on Facebook? Do I spend money on Google? Do I try to figure out a TikTok for a behind the scenes? I mean, it's enough to put someone over the edge. Like,
yes, totally.
And it's one thing to have a baby where you're essentially 24/7, but starting a business at the same time, there's genuinely no time to breathe, because then it becomes like baby bag, baby bag, baby bag, bag, bringing the baby to the factory, sit there while I work with this.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Yep. You know it so well. Yeah. One time I went to a factory with my baby when he was so young. Like, we couldn't put him in the school yet. Like, his diaper got leaked, and that was the only time I didn't have a diaper in my bag. So I had to take him in the car seat again, and then go buy the diaper, and then come back to the factory. So many episodes.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I had that happen with one of my kids. Also didn't have a diaper. And it's one of those things that, the more kids you have, the less you bring with you, because you realize that diaper bags, much like huge weddings, are a scam. Like, it's just not necessary. You don't need a million different things.
Right.
And it got to the point, by the time I had my third kid, I was carrying around diapers in a Ziploc, like whatever. And I didn't have it. And, it is what it is as moms. We do whatever we have to. And like, he pooped and I didn't know what to do. And then I'm like, well, I'll clean the diaper. I'll wipe it. I'll put it back on him because I'm stuck at a factory and I didn't have anything else to do. And you're like, well, we've all survived a whole lot worse historically. Yes. So he'll be okay. Because you know what? I have to be okay. Mama's got a business to run. So it is what it is.
Yes. I feel much better after hearing your story. I thought it was only me, going through this crazy childhood motherhood.
Yeah. Well, and then you put him in the car seat. Mind you, we don't have a car. My kid would go back either wearing him in a stroller, and then you're pushing them and you're trying not to have a full-blown breakdown. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And then you look at a baby and you're like, okay, whatever. I'm just going to keep moving forward. Right.
And I think it worked because I was even 10 years younger, so I had more energy. But now if I think about it, I can't do it anymore. It's like a lot.
Oh, good God, no. So what would you say, like, at least 10 years in with this brand? And where did the name come from?
So Misen V is two words combined, mischievous and versatile. So it's fun and functionality. That's like what I want in my brand. I don't want to be too crazy, but I definitely want to have some fun. Like, when people look at my products, I want them to say, oh, it's so fun, it's so versatile, But I do get a lot of comments like that when I'm in a pop-up market. Like, people loves it and say like, oh, I never seen these before, like my accessories.
What do you think of doing pop-ups Do you like them? Do you hate them? I think they're draining.
It is.
Personally.
It is definitely hard, but I do enjoy it a lot because I get a lot of energy from people, like getting feedback and talking to them and just like showing them. Because I feel like it's kind of one of a kind of marketing as well. Because I'm really meeting people and I'm showing I'm the owner and like how I design these and explaining like about the materials or the design. So it's definitely fun for me. But I know it's because it's my own brand. It's because I have a passion. Because when I bring helpers with me, like they will be very exhausted. Like I can see them being very, very exhausted. They would not willing to come by themselves, you know? But it's my brand, so it is fun. But I don't know how long I will be doing it. But yeah, it is definitely a good advertising. I meet a lot of good people, a lot of inspiration as well.
Just to continue off that thread, I have found because pop-ups have been around forever, but like the early 2000s, that's when they became like overall pop-ups of everybody being in one place. And then, it would be at one place and then people would charge you for them. And I have found that strategically, as opposed to doing pop-ups, it seems to be more effective and efficient if you if one joins forces with the boutique and then do it exclusively with them and then have it go out to their database. And then this way you make it an exclusive event for their customers. And then you say, and I talk about this a lot, but you provide the wine, the cheese, the grapes, the crackers, the whole nibblies, and then allow their customers to have a preview. And if you ask them to invite their best customer, tell them, pick out whatever bag you want. You get it for free, i.e. the local influencer, but just bring your friends, family, and then they can shop and enjoy a night of handbags. Because this way, you develop this amazing relationship with a store.
Right.
And then you get this connection with the customers because they're coming there to shop as opposed to having to put on that ta-da show with every single person going by where you have to be like, this is me, this is my story, this is the letter, this is the bag, over and over and over again.
Yeah, I totally agree. But I think that is when the boutique itself has a good customers themselves. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if I should say this, but I went to the Wolf and Badger. Have you heard their brand?
Of course.
They're
of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had a store in New York and they asked to do a pop-up there, but they just didn't have much of traffic.
So I understand because there's a few places like a Wolf and Badger that do that where there's multiple brands within. It's like almost like a multi-brand showroom, but but open for customers as opposed to B2B. I think the problem with that, it makes it tricky because it's such a huge space and they've so much.
Right.
I feel like sometimes it's a lot more effective to do it with like a hometown hero boutique. Like one that has a loyal customer base, one that knows their people, the ones that, the customers come in and are excited to see what's new. Because much like how bookstores have made a comeback, boutiques have made a comeback too. Because yes, it's great to shop online, but it's that personalization. It's that one-on-one attention.
Sure.
So if you join forces with a local boutique as opposed to people are going to like a Wolf and Badger because they know they may or may not find something unique. People go to their local boutique because that's where they go.
Right.
There's a big difference. And again, no disrespect to Wolf and Badger. It's just a different kind of customer and it's a different kind of shopping experience. So that's always what I say, like take advantage of your local boutiques because they're your best PR, 100%. And then they appreciate that you're the one. And you can always say, like, any first bags I have, I'll come to you first, and then you develop this lovely relationship because then you support each other. And then they're more likely to want to buy from you because you're committed to them.
Yeah, that sounds like a perfect event for me. Like, if I can get to know any of the boutiques like that, like, I would totally do an event.
So, and I think that's one of the secret sauces that I think a lot of independent designers tend to forget about, because I had one designer I was consulting for, and she lived in Delaware, I think. And she kept saying, oh, I need to come to New York to get into stores.
Fashion?
I need to get there. She was a handbag designer, and she just kept saying, like, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. And I think a lot of people tend to forget that customers exist with money, or customers exist that want to buy things for themselves to feel special, are not all in metropolitan cities. Like when I had an incubator, the fun fact is that most of the designers that had come through every time always come in with this mindset of saying that my customer is fabulous. She lives a fabulous lifestyle. And it's almost as if she's adjacent to a new modern Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing I'll hear is, well, my customer base is from 16 to 70 because a mom bought a bag for her daughter and a grandmother came in and bought the bag and sent a picture. And the reality is there is a sweet spot for your customer age. And we always, as creators, need to remember that the people buying our product, the people who spend the money, 9 times out of 10 are living in places that have a Walmart, a stop sign, a school, a church, and a bar. So remembering there's always a local boutique where people want to buy fabulous things, where they cater to the local public. So I think it's always an opportunity to get to know whatever boutique is closest to you and then go from there.
Yes. I totally agree with that. Because also, there is a sweet spot. When I go to a pop-up market, it's like people who love those higher end products will not come to buy like small business stuff. It will be always a chill customers who always like to like discover and get to know the owners. Yes, those are our main customers, I will say.
Right. You're looking for the innovators, or I forgot what the marketing term is for it. Now I'm brain farting. This first customer, and that's the one that carries the influence that then trickles down to the other ones, because you need the ones to be the innovators who are bold, that will try something that nobody else has.
Exactly. Yes.
So you've been doing this for 10 years at this point, right? So your kids are older now, right?
My son is turning 10.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
So
next month.
Oh, wow. So it's a full circle moment.
It is. Yes.
What made you decide that going through this 10-year cycle that it was time for you to try and look to Korea for production?
Because the factory and manufacturing in LA has limits, because it's a small factory, like they don't have all the different kind of machines. And now I'm trying to design something different, because mostly it's simple. It remain simple, but there's some techniques when you make the bags, like you need a certain kind of machines to sew. So yes, so that's one of the reasons why. And also, as I said earlier, I'm trying to cut the cost a little bit down, but because I am not mass producing, of course the cost can't be that cheap, and Korea is not that cheap in general. But I'm definitely positive they will make more delicate bags than here. It's like a little different style.
Yeah. I mean, I am, and for those of you tuning in, Shinyang's beautiful brand is going to be at our incredible It Bag X New York Now for the trade show that's coming up in New York at the Javits Center, August 3rd through 5th. When this airs, it may or may not be before and or after that. But I'm very excited for buyers to learn about you and for new handbag fans to buy your bags. How can we find you, follow you, learn more about your brand?
So we have a website, misenv.com, and I also have an Instagram MIS and the underscore EN_VER. So you can always send a message through Instagram. I will reply, or you can check our website.
Okay. And how spell out your brand name for the website just so everybody knows?
So it's MISENVER.com.
.com. Amazing. Shinyang, thank you so much for joining us today. I can't wait for people to see more of what's to come.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to rate and review and follow us on every single platform at Handbag Designer. Thanks so much. See you next time.